Dean Davidson, LiveWeatherBlogs.com. Student meteorologist here with your overnight outlook. Starting here in the tropics, we actually have Tropical Storm Richard finally formed. We also have two disturbed areas, one near the Cape Verde Islands. Kind of late for this to happen, but we never know. It may happen. It's getting a little moist out there. I'll show you in the satellite picture. And when these things progress into the Caribbean, I believe these would have a better shot when they get into this area. Richard, at this point, moving south-southeast. He's moving in this direction. He'll make a loop and probably be in this kind of a direction over the next few days. We'll take a look at the official track, but there's the three systems to keep an eye on. Here still in the Atlantic Basin. Let's take a look at satellite. We got Richard here. Like I said, it's going to make a progression to the south-southeast and then turn probably back towards the west-northwest in this general direction. Here's a few things. You got moist air with this low pressure to keep a good block here and heavy shear. You can see how all this precipitation is shearing off. So there's Richard, like I said, and where his progression will be, and we'll look at that now. We'll also go a little further out in the Atlantic. Here's the second area right here. That's about 10% probability of developing. That's going to go on its west-northwest track in towards the Caribbean. So this could become better probable for development further down the road if it can make it that far. One big thing that has a problem right now is this upper level low that's sitting in this location. Here's the official Hurricane Center track of Richard. Takes it here to the west-northwest. The hurricane makes landfall somewhere in Belize or the Yucatan, then comes up through the Yucatan and will emerge sometime, they're saying next week, in the Gulf of Mexico. Where we'll be at that point, we'll have to see. How strong will the shear be up here? That's another question, but we'll have to answer. Let's take a look at the models. Here's a computer model data. Most of the computer models, and once again, most of these computer models are taking it west, and then some of them put it back into the southern Gulf. Of course, you have the GFDL and the HWRF taking this northern solution. It keeps giving this northern solution for some reason, and especially the GFDL. The GFDL puts it somewhere up south of New Orleans. But you can see an intensity thing weakens. There's where we have to keep an eye on it. There still is the possibility of it getting into the Gulf, and from there, we don't know what could happen with it. Depends on the setup of the highs and the lows at that point. Here's Invest 90 out towards Cape Verde. As you see, most of these are pointing it out to sea, or at least in the general area of being a fish storm and kicking out. So it might not be an issue coming up here. A lot of upper level energy will push us away. What this does, though, strengthen into a tropical storm within 24 hours. So something I keep an eye on. Typhoon Migi, Cat 3 at the point, it's going to go Cat 2 and probably fall to Cat 1 or tropical storm at landfall as it moves progressively to the north and northwest over the next few days. Let's take a look at the satellite image on me. This is definitely a different looking system. Here's where the eye is. Look at this whole northeastern quadrant, not very strong. Like I said, this is in a weakening stage as it moves in its general area to the north. We will probably have some effects here, at least on the coastline of Taiwan. Also, we have more to talk about here in the tropics. We had Tropical Depression 16 here as it will move, and probably become a tropical storm by Saturday, and somewhere here west of the Philippines again. We're going to have something left watching the next week. Tropical Depression 17. This looks to curve out to sea and not be effective to nobody. Yeah, Tropical Cyclone Jerry. This is going to hook itself in here to this country. Definitely this is in the Indian Ocean, and will make landfall sometime on Friday. Right now, maximum winds are 55 miles an hour, and we're moving northeast at 4. We'll take a look at the satellite image on this. Pretty decent image here of this system. as it moves to the northeast. So we definitely gotta keep an eye on the whole entire world at this point is dealing with tropical systems in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, in the Indian Ocean, we got them in the Far East. We just don't have them in the Western Pacific at this point, or Eastern Pacific, excuse me. But we do have them in the... Anyways, we're going into the severe weather threat, and this is going to be a real threat starting on Friday. We're going to have a dry line set up here, and what that's going to do is push the Gulf moisture into the area. At the same time, we're having that low pressure move to the east. The energy is going to cut across. When you have mixing with the winds with height, you get tornadic probabilities. And we'll go into that in some soundings here momentarily. We're going to go in through the rest of the next couple of days first, and then we'll go into the soundings. Saturday progresses a little further to the east. We're going to still get that fat shelf the ocean and still have that low and jet going around. Still a probability of tornadoes, especially in the southern parts of this Texas and Oklahoma, Arkansas area. High winds further to the north. So what we're looking at is the Davidson risk factor for tomorrow, or as in Friday, we're looking at winds of 80%, hail of 70%, tornadoes of 30%, and on Saturday we're looking at wind of 80%, hail of 60%, tornadoes of 20%. So we're going to have a probability of some tornadoes in the next 2 days in the Midwest. Alright, now we're going to go into specific areas with our some sounding data. So here's an area, this is Dallas-Fort Worth. This is actually an area with a possibility of tornadoes. Increasing winds with height, changing the direction. Here we are. We have Cape over 1600 and a -5 on the lifting index. That's a good chance we're going to get some supercells here. We only got 13,000 foot freezing level, so that's going to make it even easier to create hail. And so we're going to definitely look at some supercells probably in the area of the Dallas-Fort Worth area and a little bit further to the west. I just wanted to show you one sounding that shows this at this point. So definitely keep an eye on tomorrow, severe weather-wise, out in the Midwest, and we'll get more into that. Let's take a look at synoptic maps this time. You can see here we have the dry line cutting across here. This is going to be the focal point for possibly isolated tornadoes and all tomorrow. You'll see that when we put this into motion. High building into the east. Nice, here's the dry line, shows up perfectly fine here. This is the area for tornadic probabilities. Dry line moves a little further to the east. There is some good chance of straight up through Saturday, possibly some sort of tornadic activity. As the dry line stays in the problem there, and what happens here is the high pressure moves off the coast. It's going to be a return fetch, so warmer weather early next week here in the eastern United States. All right, let's go to the local Roanoke forecast and Triad forecast. 42 overnight in the Roanoke, Greater Roanoke Valley. 64 sunny on Saturday. Morning frost after 36 on Friday night. Morning frost 74 Saturday, partly cloudy 49 Saturday night, 77 mostly sunny on Sunday. That's a great day for me. 55 Sunday night, chance of showers 74 degrees on Monday, and it lingers into Monday night here in the Roanoke Valley. Alright, let's take a look at the Triad. 43 overnight, 65 on Friday, 73 on Saturday, 49 overnight Saturday night, 76 with some patch cloud in the morning on Sunday, 54, mostly cloudy Sunday night, chance of showers 75 on Monday, 58 on Monday night. So a lot to watch here. We have tropical systems all over the world. We have severe weather threat with tornado threats in the Midwest coming up here, and we also have a nice weekend coming up here in the Roanoke Valley and the Triad. Frost probable in the Roanoke Valley Friday night and Saturday. Until tomorrow, this is Dean D. Davis, LiveWeatherBlogs.com. You have a great evening.